Good day, everyone. Today, we are diving into a topic that directly impacts the success of our students: motivation and engagement. As educators, we see firsthand how a student's level of motivation can shape the learning experience, and we know that engagement plays a critical role in their progress. However, what truly drives motivation? Moreover, how can we as teachers create an environment that fosters intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Research shows that student engagement increases when we incorporate real world, hands on problem solving and open ended assignments. Their motivation grows when students feel challenged, valued, and connected to their learning. Our classroom strategies can make all the difference in helping students stay engaged, take ownership of their learning, and ultimately succeed. So, today we will explore the relationship between motivation and engagement, discuss effective strategies, and walk away with the practical ideas we can implement in our classrooms. Hosted by yours truly, Jeff Stelt. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation are two fundamental concepts that shape students' engagement with learning. Understanding these motivational forces helps us create classrooms that drive academic achievement and nurture a lifelong love of learning. Intrinsic motivation comes from within the student. It is driven by curiosity, personal interest, and the satisfaction of mastering a subject. For example, a student who reads a book about space simply because they are fascinated by the universe is intrinsically motivated. This type of motivation leads to deeper learning, creativity, and long term academic success. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation relies on external factors like grades, praise, rewards, or even fear of punishment. A student who studies to earn a high grade or avoid failing is motivated extrinsically. While this type of motivation can be effective in the short term, over reliance on external rewards can reduce a student's intrinsic interest in learning. So, which one is better? The answer: it's a balance. Extrinsic motivation can help initiate engagement, especially when students struggle to connect with a topic. Small incentives, recognition, or structured rewards can help students get started. However, our ultimate goal as educators should be to cultivate intrinsic motivation by providing autonomy, giving students choice in what and how they learn fosters a sense of ownership, making learning relevant. Students are naturally more invested when they see real world applications, and focusing on mastery. Encouraging a growth mindset helps students see learning as an exciting challenge rather than a means to an end. By finding the right balance between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, we can create classrooms where students do not just learn for a grade, but because they generally want to grow and succeed. Keeping students motivated for a single lesson and long term academic success, motivation is the foundation of student engagement, perseverance, and achievement. There are two types of motivation that influence learning. Intrinsic motivation comes from within the student. They learn because they are curious, interested, or find personal meaning in the subject. For example, a student who reads about space exploration simply because they are fascinated by the stars. Extrinsic motivation is driven by external factors like grades, rewards, or avoiding consequences. For example, a student might study hard for a test to earn a prize or avoid getting into trouble. While both forms of motivation play a role in learning, research suggests that fostering intrinsic motivation leads to deeper, long lasting engagement. So, how can we increase a student motivation in the classroom? Encourage a growth mindset. Students who believe effort leads to success are more likely to embrace challenges rather than fear failure. Make learning relevant. Students engage more when seeing real world connections between their learning and future goals. Fostering autonomy. Choice matters. Giving students options in assignments or projects helps them feel more in control of their learning. Create a supportive classroom environment. Relationships building motivation. When students feel safe and respected and valued, they are more likely to take academic risks. and use goal setting strategies. Students develop a sense of ownership and motivation when they set, track, and reflect on their learning goals. Engagement and empowerment are at the core of all these strategies. Motivation naturally follows when students feel that their learning matters, is meaningful, and is within their control. Extrinsic motivation can be highly effective in a classroom setting when used thoughtfully. Here are some practical examples that we can apply. Praise. A simple great job or I am proud of your effort goes a long way in motivating students. Publicly acknowledging their hard work during class discussions or projects encourages participation. Food rewards. Younger students often respond well to small treats like stickers, candies, snacks for completing assignments or demonstrating good behavior. Token systems. Implementing a point system where students earn tokens for completing homework, staying on task, or helping others can build motivation. They can then redeem these tokens for smaller prizes such as school supplies or a homework pass. Special privileges. Offering rewards like extra recess, the chance to be the line leader, or choosing a class activity can motivate students to meet expectations and demonstrate positive behavior. 5. Advancement. Avoidance of punishment. While not ideal as a primary motivator, some students work harder knowing they can avoid consequences like losing free time, detention, or phone calls home by completing tasks and following rules. These strategies can create an engaging environment and inspire students to stay on track, but pairing them with intrinsic motivators for long term success is important. The relationship between engagement and motivation is a dynamic cycle. Engagement fuels motivation. When students are actively involved in meaningful activities, their intrinsic and extrinsic motivation naturally increases. For example, group projects or hands on experiments can inspire curiosity and a sense of accomplishment. Motivation sustains engagement. Motivated students are likelier to stay focused and participate actively in their learning. This is why it is so important to offer intrinsic motivators like autonomy and relevance, and extrinsic rewards like praise or privileges. Key factors for success: strategies such as incorporating real world connections, designing hands on problem solving activities, and assigning open ended tasks help create a classroom environment that fosters engagement and motivation. By understanding this relationship, we can create learning experiences that capture students' attention and inspire them to achieve their best. We will explore an essential yet often overlooked aspect of school reform: student motivation. This study, published by the Center on Education Policy, highlights how parental involvement, family background, and cultural influences are crucial in shaping student engagement and success. Educational policies often focus on curriculum, standardized testing, and instructional strategies. However, one of the biggest challenges in education today is underachievement and school disengagement, which have severe consequences at both individual and societal levels. Students who are disengaged from school are more likely to struggle academically, drop out, and face long-term barriers to success. In this chapter, the authors take a strength-based perspective focusing on how parents foster achievement, motivation, and student engagement. Their approach is rooted in In this chapter, the authors take a strength-based perspective focusing on how parents foster achievement, motivation, and student engagement. Their approach is rooted in Bronfenbrenner's 1977 ecological systems theory, which places the child at the center of the interconnected spheres of influence, including family, school, community, and broader societal institutions. This model helps us understand how external factors, especially parental involvement and cultural background, shape students' motivation and academic outcomes. Parental involvement is one of the most significant predictors of student motivation and engagement. Even if parents lack specific subject knowledge, their encouragement and support foster a sense of value and accountability in students. Socioeconomic background has a profound effect on cognitive development and motivation. Students from low income families often have fewer academic resources and learning opportunities in early childhood, leading to long term engagement challenges. Peers and teachers influence motivation, but research confirms that parents are the most decisive factor in shaping achievement related beliefs and behaviors. Cultural identity and stereotype threat can either support or hinder motivation. Ethnic and cultural learning models vary widely, particularly in diverse low income communities. Understanding these differences is crucial for developing effective parental engagement strategies that support student success. The study also examines various theoretical models of engagement, motivation, and parental involvement to explain how families influence children's educational experiences. Additionally, it highlights several innovative programs that have successfully built authentic partnerships between parents, students, schools, and communities to combat underachievement. So, what does this mean for us as educators? How can we increase student motivation and engagement, particularly for students at the risk of disengagement? Well, first, schools must actively foster culturally responsive parental engagement. Many parents, particularly in marginalized communities, want to be involved but may not have the resources or confidence to engage in traditional ways. Schools need to create welcoming environments that value diverse family backgrounds and experiences. Motivation can be strengthened through effort based praise, autonomy support, and inclusive learning environments. Students who feel that their effort matters and have some control over their learning are more likely to stay engaged. Finally, policy changes should be addressed resource disparities. Early intervention programs for low income families can bridge opportunity gaps and provide children with the academic foundation they need for long term success. This research reinforces the need to tailor engagement strategies to diverse populations. Different communities socialize learning differently, and recognizing these differences allows educators to create more meaningful connections with students and families. The key takeaway is this: student motivation does not begin in the classroom, it starts at home. Regardless of socioeconomic status or culture background, parents play a critical role in shaping achievement related beliefs and behaviors. If we want to combat underachievement and disengagement, we must take a holistic approach that involves not only teachers and schools, but also parents, communities, and policymakers. Through culturally responsive teaching, inclusive policies, and meaningful partnerships, we can support all students in reaching their full potential, regardless of their background. One of the biggest challenges in education today is keeping students engaged. Engagement is not just about whether students pay attention, it is about how deeply they interact with the material, their emotional connection to learning, and their willingness to persist through challenges. Research shows students' engagement directly impacts academic success, retention, and motivation. When actively involved in their learning, students develop critical thinking skills, build connections between concepts, and retain information more effectively. Today, we will explore three key dimensions of engagement and discuss strategies that educators can use to foster a more interactive and meaningful learning environment. Three primary types of engagement work together to create a practical learning experience. Behavioral engagement. We traditionally consider engagement as participation, effort, and persistence in learning activities. It includes students raising their hands, completing assignments, and staying focused. Emotional engagement focuses on the student's emotional connection to the subject matter, the instructor, and their peers. A sense of belonging, enjoyment, and personal investment in learning fosters greater academic motivation. Cognitive engagement. This is the deepest level of engagement where students actively think critically, analyze, and apply what they are learning. It involves self regulation, problem solving, and a genuine investment in mastering content. The challenge for educators is ensuring that all three forms of engagement are present in the classroom. So, how do we ensure that students are fully engaged? Here are some research based strategies that can make a significant impact. Active learning techniques. Students learn best when they are actively involved. Discussions, group work, debates, and hands on problem solving activities create an interactive environment that fosters engagement. Culturally responsive teaching. Recognizing and incorporating students' diverse backgrounds helps increase emotional engagement by making learning more relevant and inclusive. Real world applications. Connecting material to real life examples and current events makes learning more meaningful. Students who see how concepts apply to their lives are more motivated to engage with their material. Providing autonomy and choice, allowing students to make decisions about their learning, whether through project-based learning, open-ended questions, or topic selection, empowers them to take ownership of their education. Formative assessments and immediate feedback. Frequent low-stake assessments, such as quizzes, reflections, or peer reviews, help students gauge their understanding and allow instructors to adjust their teaching approach to better meet student needs. Ultimately, teachers and instructors play the most significant role in fostering engagement. Here is how. Building relationships. Creating a welcoming and supportive learning environment helps students feel safe, valued, and motivated to participate. Using diverse teaching methods. No two students learn the same way. To accommodate different learning styles, a mix of lectures, hands-on activities, and discussions, along with technology being used. Encouraging collaboration. Group work, peer discussions, and team projects help build a sense of community and increase engagement. Applying these strategies, we can help students stay motivated, develop a more profound understanding, and feel more connected to their learning experiences. Increasing student engagement requires more than just making lessons fun. It requires creating meaningful, inclusive, and interactive learning experiences. When actively involved, emotionally invested, and cognitively challenged, students are more likely to succeed and develop lifelong learning skills. We're talking about one of the biggest challenges in education, keeping students engaged. We know students learn best when actively involved, but engagement requires motivation. There are two types of motivation. Intrinsic motivation happens when students learn because they are genuinely curious about a subject. This leads to a deeper engagement and long-term retention. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is driven by grades, rewards, or external pressure. While it can be helpful in the short term, it does not create a lasting love for learning. So, how do we increase motivation and engagement in the classroom? Here are some key ideas. Make learning relevant. Students engage more when they're seeing the real world connection. Support autonomy. Give students choices in learning, whether through project options or flexible assignments. Create a sense of purpose. Show students why learning matters, whether it's related to their future careers or personal interests. Encourage collaboration. Learning becomes more meaningful when students work together, share ideas, and teach each other. Provide growth-oriented feedback. Instead of focusing only on grades, emphasize effort, improvement, and resilience to help students build confidence. The role of the teacher is crucial. We are not just instructors, we are motivators. By building relationships, using diverse teaching methods, and fostering a supportive environment, we can help students stay engaged and excited about learning. Engagement starts with motivation, and motivation starts with us. We're focusing on student collaboration, which is one of the most powerful ways to increase engagement, problem solving, and communication skills in the classroom. Collaboration is more than group work. It's about students learning from one another, developing critical thinking skills, and working towards shared goals. However, effective collaboration doesn't just happen. It requires structure, guidance, and intentional strategies. Here are 10 key strategies that help build meaningful student collaboration. Establish clear expectations. Students need to know what successful teamwork looks like, define their roles, responsibilities, and goals. Use structured group activities. Provide step-by-step guidance to facilitate deeper engagement rather than simply assigning group work. Incorporate student choice. Giving students a say in their projects increases motivation and ownership. Encourage diverse perspectives. Students develop critical thinking and empathy when working with peers from different backgrounds. Teach conflict resolution skills. Students need strategies to manage disagreements productively. Foster accountability. Use individual and group assessments to ensure all members contribute. Using technology tools. Digital collaboration tools like Google Docs, discussion boards, and video conferencing can enhance teamwork. Creating a safe environment. Students should feel comfortable sharing ideas without fear of criticism. Provide scaffolding and support. Guide students through collaboration with check-ins, coaching, and structured feedback. Reflect on teamwork experiences. Encourage students to discuss what worked well, what could be improved in their collaboration. As teachers, we set the tone for collaboration. We create an environment where students thrive through cooperation by modeling effective communication, guiding discussions, and reinforcing teamwork skills. Collaboration is not just a classroom strategy. It is a lifelong skill. When students learn to work together effectively, they are better prepared for success in schools, careers, and beyond. Student disengagement is a challenge that every educator faces at some point. Disengagement does not just mean a student is uninterested in a single lesson. It can signal a deeper issue that affects their learning and overall classroom environment. So, how do we recognize disengagement? There are several clear signs. A student who rarely participates, avoids answering questions, or stays silent may be mentally checked out. Some students display frequent distractions, fidgeting, or off-task behaviors, making focusing difficult. Minimal effort on assignments and complete work or missing tasks can indicate a lack of motivation. Poor attendance or habitual tardiness is a strong warning sign that students feel disconnected from learning. A negative attitude, constant boredom, or disengaged body language suggests that they are not finding value in the material. Some students may avoid challenges, shut down when work gets difficult, or express frustration easily. Lastly, social withdrawal or a refusal to collaborate with peers may indicate emotional or social struggles. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is re-engaging students, and strategies that help include building strong relationships. Students are more likely to engage when they feel seen, heard, and valued. Incorporating active learning. Hands-on activities, discussions, and movement keep students engaged. Making learning relevant. Connecting lessons to students' lives, interests, and real-world applications makes learning meaningful. Encouraging autonomy. Giving students choices in their learning process increases their investment in the material. Addressing it to external factors. Sometimes disengagement stems from stress, anxiety, or struggles at home, so checking students' well-being is essential. Ultimately, engagement is not just about participation, it is about connection. When students feel connected to their teacher, classmates, and the content, they become more invested in their learning journey. Educators constantly seek effective ways to connect with students, and research provides valuable insights into what truly works in the classroom. Based on research from Edutopia, here are some simple but powerful strategies that can make an instant impact. Start with a warm welcome. A simple greeting by name at the door helps students feel valued, included, and ready to learn. Building a positive culture from the moment they walk in increases engagement. Use active learning. Students learn better when participating rather than passively absorbing information. Incorporate discussions, group work, and interactive activities to deepen understanding. Make learning social. Collaboration boosts engagement. Let students work together, debate ideas, and teach each other to reinforce concepts. Incorporate movement. The brain thrives on activity. Short breaks, stretching, or hands-on learning that requires movement can improve focus and retention. Give immediate feedback. Timely responses help students stay on track and correct misunderstandings before they become learning obstacles. Use storytelling. Facts are easier to remember when wrapped in a story. Using real-world examples, narratives, or personal anecdotes makes lessons more engaging. Encourage a growth mindset. When we praise effort over ability, students learn that persistence and hard work lead to success. This builds resilience and keeps them motivated. So the key takeaway, small changes in our instructional approach can significantly enhance student engagement and academic success. These research-backed strategies are easy to implement and can transform classroom dynamics starting tomorrow. As educators, our role is not just to provide knowledge, but to inspire students to take ownership of their learning journey. By integrating autonomy, relevance, and mastery into our teaching, we can help students stay motivated, engaged, and eager to grow. So thank you for joining me today. If you have any lingering questions or thoughts, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, class is dismissed. Have a great day.